Chill, that shit was hard. Don't you know? No. Goo. Nah, I ain't about to do that. I'm about to make it stupid. Vinny, this mine?
He be so much happier when he get weed from somebody. That nigga be so happy.
I wasn't really. I made an attempt. Oh, he came.
Oh, it's not even your weed.
Nah. They got some scissors?
Oh, yeah, filming already?
Huh?
Like the red. I seen the red.
I mean, you know, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you've been smoking rock or under a rock, you now tuned in to the Personal Party Podcast.
Cheer.
It wouldn't be right if you don't do the wackest ad lib in the game.
I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, fuck that.
The wackest ad lib in the game.
I don't care, my nigga.
Dogs.
I don't care, dogs. That's my ad lib, nigga. It's not even mine.
Dead. Like, I tried to slow it down. I looked at you from the corner of my eye.
I know.
I don't think he gonna do it. And then you were just... Anyway,
got to.
I have another sibling in the house.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? More family in the building. You know, the Personal Party Podcast
Very important
is based around personal relationships, marijuana, banter, and more marijuana. But, you know, for in hindsight, it's really about the journeys of us. I'm celebrating my friends. I'm celebrating myself because I feel like, you know, you're one of the people that always told me celebrate your wins. And I feel like we've been in this shit so long and just moving. And yeah, we celebrate as far as we acknowledge it. But I don't think any of us as our peers ever had a platform that we could all celebrate each other and celebrate our journey and celebrate our friendships and celebrate our ups and downs. And this is one person that was with me day zero.
Facts.
I want niggas to understand that.
Facts.
This is not some shit that just came overnight. Pause. This guy, my first time going to Los Angeles, California, I didn't know what to expect. This is the Myspace era. This is Myspace Black Planet era. I didn't know what to expect. I'm going out there to go work with Sean Kingston. I'm in Hollywood. I don't really know how the weed situation works because at this point, to get into a dispensary, you had to know somebody or have a card.
Facts, you definitely had to have a card.
Right? And I didn't know how that worked. And I hit another one of my good friends, Mickey Fax. And I'm like, yo, Mick, man, like, I'm going to LA. Mick don't even smoke weed.
Shout out Mickey Fax.
Jack Daniels, Renegade. I spoke to him earlier, too. He's coming on the pod when he's coming to New York. But he's like, you know, I'm like, I don't know where to get weed from and shit. Like, who should I fuck with out there? He was like, nah, I know somebody out there. You need to connect with him. He mad cool. He make beats, too. His beats is hard. It's a dude named Chase and Cashe. I'm like, word.
The hell?
I bet. Next thing I know, my brother's at the Roosevelt Hotel, and he hasn't left me ever since.
And, you know what I mean, to go beyond that, it's crazy how it start. Cause shout out to Mick, you know, I started off as a fan, you feel me? I always been a huge New York rap fan. And I remember during that time period trying to find, like, you know, the next up and coming talent and shit that was in the city. And they had this shit called Mad Cyphers at the time. You know what I mean? That used to be
that name come out again.
Public access TV and shit like that. And I remember seeing you, Nim, Mook, couple more guys that end up being legends in the game too. And I was a fan. I just seen that shit and I like, okay, these niggas could spit. And then over the years of watching Murder Mook battles and T-Rex and then seeing y'all in the back, seeing different faces in the back of like the battles and shit like that, you know what I mean, to end up meeting you in the situation that we was in. You know what I mean? I think it was definitely meant to be.
Definitely.
And yeah,
stars
man.
aligned again.
Shout out to Ed Boogie, you know what I mean? Shout out Shipes. Rest in peace, Nipsey. You know, that's like the original cinematic clip, man. Real shit.
Rest in peace, Cousin Todd. I love you.
Yes, definitely Cousin Todd.
You got a Nipsey story?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a lot of stories. I don't even want to throw
I didn't mean to throw you off.
We're going to get into that.
Yeah, we got records together. Like, they got a record together over, like, some of my earliest production.
Facts.
You feel
Facts.
me? Before
Yeah,
me and Hit Boy was anybody.
Facts.
But too many Nipsey stories, man. But I'm excited. Like I said, man, I'm glad to be up here with you doing this. You know what I mean? Ups and downs. You know, we was just at the game the other day in the suite. So that's the ups. And you know what I mean? Dza was with me when I'll never forget. One of my favorite days is the day that I had to go to court. And we was staying in the OakWoods at the time. And one thing I can always say about Dza, he was gonna ride with me on whatever move I made, but he never supported me doing stupid shit. But if he was just like, if this what you gonna do, you know what I mean? All right, look, let's
That
get
sound
it.
like
You feel
Dza.
me?
That sound like him.
And I remember the day I told him that the day came, and I was like, man, I gotta go to court today. And he looked at, he was like, you gonna go? I was like, man, I'm broke, man. I don't think I'm gonna do it. He was like, you sure? And I was like, man, I gotta get this money, man. I'm gonna just do the music shit and just go on a run. And he was like, all right. And nigga just passed me a blunt. And from there, nigga went on a run. Niggas was coolin', son. That was crazy. And then, you know, we went through like the whole Sean Kingston period together. Learned a lot. You know, that was kind of like my first experience being able to see somebody get paid for their writing talent. He was one of the first people I seen I was getting pulled in as a writer and being able to work with other people and shit like that. And I think that's a lot of things that people may not know about Smoke, is that he always been cherished for his pen, you know what I mean? So to see where you at now, to be able to do what you do, man, like, this shit amazing, bro. Cause you really never switched up, no matter what opportunity came your way, bro. Real rap.
That's crazy,
Real
man.
rap.
My
You
dog.
never switched up, bro.
My
That's
dog,
a fact.
man.
The illest shit, right? When we was in, we all lived together in the OakWoods. I want to point that out.
Yeah.
When I started to work with Sean before Beautiful Girls even came into fruition, when we was trying to figure out a sound and a structure, and Sean was our little brother, so we was really on big brother duties too.
Facts, definitely. He was 16,
He was
15,
15 years
16
old.
at the
Right,
time. Yep.
right. Like, his phone was under my name because
Niggas was
he
using
couldn't
AOL
fucking-
Instant Messenger.
He wasn't old enough to exactly AOL. He wasn't old enough to get a phone in his name.
That's crazy.
At the time. So this is how young he was. And Chase really, like, for one, I was already, you know, working as far as a writer. Like, you know, I was fresh off the high tech situation, and this was a brand new playing field because this is a brand new person, and it's somebody that's undiscovered, somebody that no one ever heard. And even though he had the patois singing aspect of his creative, you know, his thing, he still was trying to discover who he was gonna be. Chase was one of the guys that was helping me architect the sound for him at that time.
Yeah, sound, look,
Direction.
you know what I mean? Direction, everything. Right. You know what I mean? Like, Dza knew who he was. And, you know, Shipes at the time, this wasn't Shipes' first rodeo at the time either, you feel me? I just think this was our first time working with a situation with, like, J.R. Rodham and Zach Cass. Those were big guys at the time. Facts. Like, those were big dudes. J.R. was coming off of, like, working with Dre and shit like that.
T-Pain.
And T-Pain, yeah. And, you know, I think he had a record that came not too long after that with Rick Ross and T-Pain, that The Biggest Boss, that was real big. And I think that whole period of us being able to be together around each other allowed us to sharpen each other. It was a lot of other people that got discovered in the midst of that too. You feel me? Like, shout out to Hit Boy. You feel me? I would have not met Hit Boy if I wasn't rocking with Dza at that time.
That's crazy.
Because Sean Kingston was looking for beats for niggas to write to and shit like that. And so I would be on Myspace browsing and looking around and shit, and I end up finding Hit Boy through a fucking bulletin. And then from there, we end up getting cool. You feel me? So
crazy.
I think that period alone of us just being in LA, it showed me that it was a job. That was like the first time it felt like a job. Like we really had something to do every day as far as like curating. It felt like management a little bit. I didn't really know what management was at the time, but like he's saying, like we with Sean Kingston every day, like we watching them essentially grow in front of our eyes.
Legit.
And every experience that he go through, we trying to figure out a way to authentically put it in a song, because he ain't really lived a life yet at this point. You feel me? He just young and talented, and they just throwing songs his way. But one thing I could say about Sean is he wanted it bad.
Yes, he did.
He wanted it. Whatever it is,
he wanted that shit.
He wanted that shit.
We know what that it is.
He wanted that shit. Now, you know, you brought up somebody that was very intricate at this time with, you know, our set, you know, just the people we were around in the Oakwoods. Hit Boy came from Fontana, I remember, and he stayed at the Oakwoods with us for some time, making beats and doing shit. And after that, what was the time stamp after that surf club was?
Man, it wasn't too much long after that. It was literally, because that's 2006, if I'm correct. I would say 2007. I would say the end of that year when I got cool enough with Hit Boy, with us connecting over that time period. I ended up going to stay with him. And when I went out there, I just posted up. You know what I mean? And we just started working and working and working. I ended up having somewhat of like a connection to Polo through MySpace already. And
Zone
then,
4.
So yeah,
Polo the Dome.
And then same thing with Hit Boy. He had reached out to Hit Boy too. And I ended up talking to Hit Boy and was letting him know. He ended up mentioning it first. He ended up mentioning that he had a connection to Polo already. I think Polo had given him a keyboard or some shit like that at the time. And I was like, yeah, dude had hit me up too, saying he wanted to cop some beats from me and shit. So he told me, he was like, well, Polo about to come out here in a few weeks. He's going to be working on a Rich Boy album. And so he came out. We met at Chalice, which is crazy that Hit Boy is in Chalice still to this day.
That's so
which is so
crazy.
But yeah, that's the first place we ended up going to meet. We ended up going to Chalice. We ended up hearing Rich Boy. I remember hearing Throw Some D's for the first time that night. And I just remember hearing Polo beats for the first time, because I had heard about Polo through his rap stuff with Jim Crow, but I ain't know he made beats. You feel me? So I thought he was more or less on some like starting a label, starting a production company, almost on like some puffy shit, like trying to like align himself with producers. And then I went in there and I seen he was making beats. I was like, okay, like this is something different. So that's what made it interesting for me to sign, because I looked at it like this. You know what they always say, don't sign to another rapper or some shit like that. And I guess unless like that rapper respect you enough, you feel me?
Right.
I kind of felt the same way with the beats. Like it was almost like, okay, well, he not in a situation where he taking our beats. Like, cause that's one thing I could say. He never took no beats from us and made it seem like it was his beats. He just was on some shit like, I got all this opportunity coming off of this connection that I done got with Interscope and with Timbaland and shit like that. I need to have an arsenal, because it's a lot of shit coming my way. So he heard our beats. He fucked with them. I ain't gonna lie, our shit was like Timbaland sounding at that time. We was young, influenced by all that shit that niggas was making at the time. And I think it made sense to him. When he was hearing it, he just like, oh, like this a no-brainer, you feel me? And so he was fucking with Hit Boy more than he was fucking with my shit. But his business partner at the time, DJ Moore Millie, who is a partner in Eardrummers with Mike Will to this day, he was fucking with my business sense and how I was moving. Because I always, you know me, bro, I always been more of like the visual person. You feel me? Like, yeah, this the music, but how the clothes gonna look, how the video gonna look, how the swag gonna look. Because I came up on the Neptunes, and that's what the Neptunes was doing at that period in time. They was venturing into doing BBC Ice Cream. They had more than just like beats around them, you feel me? And Timbaland was doing Beat Club at the time, where he was trying to get Attitude popping. And so I ended up meeting Attitude and all these niggas through Polo too. So it was kind of like a good thing going over there. So we ended up doing a situation that led us to go to Atlanta. Then we went to Atlanta. That's when everything just took off, because at that time Polo was just hot, Akon was hot, and that was like the start of like Atlanta becoming more pop commercial. You feel me? It wasn't just rap no more. It was like, yeah, we got pop, we got Sierra, we got all kind of shit coming out of the A now. And then I'm gonna give it up. Don Cannon to me, he stamped the nigga, bro, in the city. Real rap, son. Like he became a good friend of ours. He helped us low key like find where to live and shit like that. We slept on Cannon floor for a little while. And Cannon just knew everybody. The affiliates was just fucking popping. Everybody knew him in drama. And anywhere we went, Cannon was just treating us like his little brothers. Like, yo, meet my guys. They from the West Coast. They hard. They beats fire. And Cannon was making beats, but he wasn't making beats with the software like we was making beats with the software. So we was like the first niggas seen with Fruity Loops. Niggas is seeing us coming through with the Fruity Loops. They looking at us like, where y'all gonna get the sounds from? Like, where y'all get the music from? Everybody was used to MPCs and used to seeing keyboards and shit like that. And so once we got in the A, we got with Cannon, we got a couple more people, we got comfortable and shit like that. We got our first placement off, and our first one was like Flow Rider. And this one was Flow Rider was rapping. He was rapping at the time. And so we ended up getting a beat off to him. We ended up getting some shit off with Nipsey and Boozy at the time too, called Thuggin'.
Thuggin', that was my shit.
We did Tiffany Evans. We did a lot of people at that time that was like new artists. From there, we ended up meeting Pharrell, did Tiana Taylor. You feel me? When she was coming in the game, we ended up getting cool with Ice Pick J. Rest in peace, Ice Pick J. You feel me? So, I think from there, that's when I started figuring out the type of person I was. Because one thing about Hit Boy, he was always going to sit down and make a beat.
That was, yeah.
Like,
was
period. Like, period. Yeah. Like, shopping was going to come along in due time, but he always was hella focused more than I was on, like, the music is the thing. The music is what's going to get us there. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we got this little thing around us with, like, multiple producers. How can I make this something more? Because if Hit Boy is the one niggas fucking with, it wasn't like he wasn't feeding off of us because we was all making music together, making each other better. So it's like, all right, let's turn this into something. They had the name Surf Club already, but niggas didn't know how to get no website. Niggas didn't know how to make no merchandise and shit like that. That's where I just start coming in with being like, all right, look, let's get a logo. Let's make a website. And we did the blog spot. Just so happened the blog era popped, and that's what really sent it up. I feel like at that time, you was on. Because I remember coming to New York and fucking with you. You feel me? When we first started. Me and Kent Money come and fuck with you and shit.
I put Kent Money on George Kush the button.
Yeah. And bro, you already know I always say you a big piece as far as me rapping. You definitely the first person I feel like that is respected for his craft that fucked with me on some rapping shit. Like, I fuck with Drake and Cole and all them niggas, but I don't got no music with them publicly. You feel me? Just as a producer. But I feel like from the beginning, bro, you always been on some shit like willing to rap with me and help me get better. You feel me?
I love you. Like, I genuinely want you to win.
Yep.
And you know, we connect spiritually. Our frequencies make sense.
Yep. And the same shit happened is like when we got a legitimate rapper with like Kent Money who really got bars. You feel me? It was like, all right, yeah, let me fuck with him. And I definitely feel like us coming to New York, me coming to New York and fucking with you, period. You stamp me here, straight up, nigga. If I moved to Harlem because of you, straight up. Nigga, I wasn't moving nowhere else. Like, I know some niggas that live in Harlem. Let me move over there. And then come and fuck with y'all every day, walking to the west side, you feel me? And come and kick it. And being able to get cool with Third, being able to get cool with Nim, Doe, and everybody during that time period. Early Wayno, you feel me? Yep, East, everybody, you feel me? And I think it started showing me, like, you showed me that you gotta be active. You feel me? One thing I know about you is you always been active. You, like, verse-wise, you always been working, bro. You always been active. And as a producer, you live off placements, you feel me? It's a reverse, it's like a reverse way of thinking, you feel me? You trying to be super, super specific about what artists you get to and shit like that. And I always seen with you, it was just like, this the niggas I'm around, this the niggas I'm rapping with. Like, period. If it's Currency and DD 1172, and if it's Mac Miller, if it's me, if it's Nim, if it's Doe, you always willing to rap. You feel me? And once I started coming out here and be able to get a part of that, join RFC and be able to do the shows, and we doing multiple shows in the night and going different places and shit. And then at the same time fucking with Rocky and them and ASAP. And then, you know what I mean?
That's how you got on that tour.
Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So from putting Rocky and Drake together and Kendrick together, that's how all the tour shit started happening.
You can't say that so casual.
Yo, he should. Yo,
that was too casual. All right, let's pause.
All
right. So now Drake is somebody you've known. You put me on to Drake, Replacement Girls.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the first record I ever heard of Drake. Drake and Trey Songz, Replacement Girls. I love that song. This is like 07, I want to say.
This 06. It's low key. I met all y'all niggas at the same time in different spaces in different months. You feel me?
That's so crazy because Drake rapped the line like we used to smoke good in the Oakwoods, and I'm like, that was our spot. You know what I mean? So, how did you link with Drake?
I linked with Drake straight up via Myspace. Rich the Kid, not Rich the Kid, but Rich Kid, a producer. He had a song. Him and Boy Wonder, they had Drake on their page and they had songs with them niggas. So I used to be going through all the different producers' pages and shit like that to get inspiration. When I went to their pages and heard the music they had with him, I was like, okay, dude, really hard. He had a joint. He had a joint with Malice back in the day, called "Do What You Do." It was on a Nick Fury beat. Yep. And then he had another joint. It was like a bunch of loose joints that ended up being on Comeback Season.
Okay.
And I remember hearing them and I was just like, nah, dude, different. You feel me? I heard the singing shit. And I was like, okay, like I ain't really hearing nobody coming like this. Like one joint, he might just go straight Pharrell on niggas.
Right.
Then the next joint, he going Kanye with the rapping and the singing. Then the next minute, he on some Fonte emotional type shit. You feel me? And then he on some Jigga shit with like just go straight bars. And I reached out to him. I remember I had did something to one of his songs, like I was chopping and screwing music at the time, and I ended up chopping and screwing his shit, and he fucked with it. And we got cool. We started talking and shit through MySpace. Eventually, he ended up coming out here to work with Dre. You know what I mean? He was working with Dre and like writing and shit, and they put him in the Oakwoods. So it was just like, all right, cool. We in the same area. We ended up linking up, kicking in and shit like that. He was recording a mixtape at the time. It was like different people coming through to do different parts on the shit, Omarion, all them different niggas. That's how I ended up meeting Ben Baller at the time and all that shit too. Cause
Shout
like,
out Ben Baller.
everybody was just like, Drake was just like a magnet when he came to LA, bro. It was like niggas had heard about the nigga on the internet, but niggas, I guess niggas wanted to see if the swag matched up. You feel me? And so when I had met him, it was like he Prada head to toe. He dressing like real sleek. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, dude really got it. He ain't as boisterous at the time, but you can look and tell like he not broke. He not fucked up.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So we end up getting cool. I was over at Interscope at the time, so I was hearing these records he was doing. I'm just like, man, this nigga hard. He just doing all these different demos and shit. I sent them to this dude, Manny Banks, who was an A&R at the time. He ended up hearing the shit. He fuck with it. He just like, yo, what the kid look like? I ended up showing him what he looked like. He ended up saying some lame shit like, I don't know if it's gonna pass over. So he was like, but I'll get him in on some writing shit. He wanted to put the nigga in with Soulja Boy because Soulja Boy was popping at the time. You feel me? Yeah. Soulja Boy was hot at the time.
That's crazy.
So he was like, we need hooks for Soulja Boy and shit like that, and I like his hooks. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, whatever works, whatever, get the nigga in the door. So I talked to Drake. Drake wasn't feeling that. He was like, nah, I'm cool. I ain't really trying to write for nobody right now. I'm trying to get my own shit popping. So I ended up doing the same thing with Star Trek. I ended up playing this nigga music for Rob Walker. And Rob Walker fucking with it. He just like, let me play it for Pharrell and let me see what's up. They fucking with Chester French and Tiana at the time.
It's crazy.
So shout out to Chester French. This ain't no disrespect to them niggas, you feel me? They was doing their thing on the net at the time. Pharrell hear the music. He like, I like it, but it's kind of like imitation. It's like it's dope, but I don't really like know what the sound is because Drake was doing so many different pockets at the time.
That's a fact.
So I ain't gonna say niggas passed on it, but niggas was just like, we'll see. Man, I remember that nigga did that Man of the Year. That shit tore the internet up. That shit was booming on MySpace. I done walked in here looking like the motherfucking man of the year. Where my stash shit was killing the internet, bro. He put a verse on that shit and then he shouted out Surf Club. And I was just like, he did a Millie freestyle, I think, where he shouted out Surf Club on it. Please comprehend, I am a Surf Club general. That shit just started taking. So people hitting us up. They like, yo, what y'all got going on? Me and Hit Boy, we young and scrambling. We broke. We trying to figure this shit. We like, man, we can't sign the nigga. We can't afford him.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, maybe look, we just like play it close and just see how it go. Next thing you know, Jazz Prince end up getting a hold of the nigga somehow. And then he ended up going to Houston, staying there for a bit. That shit transpired. He ended up hitting me after all that shit was over and was just like, look, I'm about to go to Atlanta. And I ended up telling him, I was like, well, look, I'm in the A. He ended up pulling up on me in the A again, and that's when we reconnected. He was supposed to come meet with Cannon. And I think Cannon was busy or some shit and flaked on a nigga. So me and him just kicked it in the studio, chopped it up. He ended up staying in Atlanta during that time period. That's when he started making I'm Going In and Congratulations and all that different type of shit. And then that's when the Young Money shit popped off, where he started replacing Bobby Valentino on the road and singing and shit. And then he just started bringing me with him, bro. And then simultaneously at that time, you know, I done met Money Matt at this time too. You feel me? Because we still doing the surf club shit. We end up getting a studio in Burbank, me and Hit Boy. I end up meeting Matt through Hit Boy. We get cool. Matt and Cole end up being cool from their connection and shit like that through St. John's.
I forgot Matt went to St. John's.
Exactly.
That's
so,
crazy.
you know, he got super New York ties and shit. So Cole end up coming to LA for a show. I end up meeting a nigga for the first time, just kicking it with him and cooling. Then after that, Polo used to be throwing these skate parties. So I'm still Zone 4 at the time, still Surf Club. This nigga Drake hit me up. He like, yo, what's going on? Da-da-da. I'm like, man, I'm going to the skate party. It's gonna be a lot of chicks there. Come through. So nigga Cole, he in town. I'm like, man, look, come to the skating party. I'm gonna introduce y'all niggas. I introduced them at the fucking skating rink. So this was how like the industry was working with the internet at the time. It was like all the new niggas had internet connections because
That's how it was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how
the
it
game,
was.
because the game was still so big.
Right,
Like
right.
I knew Fab at this time too, and Fab was almost like, it was like almost like unreal hanging with Fab at the time, because Fab was like still, he's still fabulous, but at that time he was actively like fabulous. You feel me? Still doing records. Girl, you be killing them, all that type of shit. You feel me? So I remember going to the club with that nigga and experiencing that, and it feeling different from hanging with you and hanging with Drake and shit like that. And I remember when Drake started getting a little bit more popular, I remember the first time I went somewhere and I knew niggas from both sides. It was like, damn, I know the new niggas and I know Fab and these niggas, and I'm seeing the two worlds collide. So that's when I started realizing, like, okay, I'm like actually a part of like the next class. When Rocky and Kendrick hit though, that's when I feel like everything kind of like being like,
together.
okay, this the new class right here, bro.
Right,
Period,
right,
point
right,
blank. Like you, I would put you at the front of that. I feel like your class may not have more as glitz and glamour because y'all was like, you and Spitter, y'all was like thugging the
It
internet.
sucks being first sometimes.
Yeah, y'all was the
yeah,
pioneers.
yeah.
You and Spitter, like y'all niggas was thugging the net. You feel me? Hard.
And even touring, I want to say like we was
Yep.
like the first of the new generation that went on tour. Nobody was actually touring as far as artists going out with each other before Smokers Club.
Yeah.
It was South by Southwest, and it was shit like Rock the Bells, where everybody would go and unite and
Pay
shit like
dues.
that, pay dues. But the Smokers Club was the first actual tour that started with 3 people, and it led with that for like the first 2 years.
Yeah,
then, you know.
Crit and Spitter, y'all niggas is pioneers.
And Wiz too.
Thugging the net.
Wiz too.
Wiz come a
obviously.
bit after that, cause I remember.
Nah, Wiz was the same time because he was doing college tours and he was already BMF, blowing merch fast. That was his shit. That was
When
what
did
we
Star
could call
Power
it.
drop?
Star Power Drive.
Cause I
in
remember
2011.
being actively an artist at the same.
2010.
Yeah, okay, yes, cause I dropped my first shit in 2011. So I remember being an artist simultaneously with Tyga, with Wiz, all these niggas. You feel me? And I remember hearing Say Yeah, cause I fucked with Say Yeah
fuck
from
with
Wiz
Say
hard.
Yeah, too.
You feel me?
Word.
And I liked him because he came in with his own lingo, calling the weed Ray, like different ways of calling the weed, different names and shit like that. But he came a bit after y'all. You feel me? I feel like he brought more of like the hit making to mixtape. You feel me? Where y'all
Absolutely.
niggas was
Throwing it,
rapping,
yep.
he brought more like the hit making. Like I'm about to
Absolutely.
make like jams,
Absolutely.
but I'm about to just put them out type shit. You feel
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
And I feel like you and Spitter and Crit was like he like a southern version of like the like Southern Smoke mixtapes and all that shit, but more polished, like original music.
Spitter is Yoda for us.
That
I'm
nigga
gonna go
did
out
it.
and say it. Like my boy, he just understood this shit. I feel like before we actually got it, because I could speak for myself. At that time I was following his lead, because I'm learning from my friend. I'm sitting next to him and I'm learning that, all right, I guess they calling us weed rappers because we smoke weed. All right, well I guess this is what we're gonna do. And it wasn't some shit where it was like a fad. It was like, you know, we learned all together to to create lifestyle rap where you could be yourself and it could be accepted, because people don't know it's so many people alike. And people are gonna compartmentalize shit however it goes anyway. So when you're doing it and you're somebody that's doing something genuine, that's how we link. That's why you fuck with me and I fuck with you. It's genuine. And because we make lifestyle music.
If
it's
y'all,
not one thing.
I would
Feel
not
me?
exist without neither one of y'all. One, cause Spitter doing it the way I'm doing it from New Orleans, and because he had the major connections like I had the major connections, and you know how big of a shadow that can cast on you when you know how diverse you are. Like Spitter, as much as you could put him on a song with Wayne and them niggas, he low key got a diverse topic of shit he can talk about, and beats he can rap on, jazzy shit, you feel me, trap shit whenever he want to trap it, West Coast shit whenever he want to West Coast it, you feel
New
me,
York shit.
New York shit, yeah, you feel me. And
Word.
then with you, like both of y'all showed me, don't let your catalog trick you. Like I don't think you've ever told me this, but I just seen from your work ethic, you feel me? I seen it from Baby Grand days. It's just like, nigga, you're gonna work. You're gonna work. I feel like I was spoiled, bro, and I kind of wanted to like have 5 albums and be treated like it's like, nah, nigga, you're gonna have the French Montana, Max B this bitch, bro. Like you're gonna have to drop 50 of them things and keep it pushing, because you like doing merch, you like doing all these other different things, you feel me? And you not per se going in there with the intention of making a hit record.
Absolutely.
I don't know what's on y'all mind with it, but I know when I was going in the booth, I wasn't thinking about making a hit record.
Yeah,
it was about my life,
Yeah,
and
it was
my
just
style of
going about my
living.
day,
You feel me?
however
Period.
my
Yep.
day went. Yeah.
And when Future came along, that's when I started seeing like, okay, like he doing the Currency shit too, where he dropping tapes, but he doing the Wiz Khalifa where niggas is trying to make hits. Niggas is trying to make hits. Yes, bro. And so I think now, even where you at, where like you did the shit with Ross, you did the shit with Pete Rock, I feel like you and Spitter, Freddie Gibbs, I put him in there too. I cannot forget Gibbs. Y'all niggas low key been doing what y'all been doing, and it's kind of like the internet got enough it got enough versatility now to support everybody.
Absolutely.
Because at first it was like the industry anti-internet, so they don't really want to fuck with it like that unless they taxing you on it. Then it got to the point where it was like niggas got so big, you needed the internet to be able to reach everybody at one time. And then what with the major shit, one thing is the artist is always kind of dependent on somebody else working their shit for them. Where meanwhile with us, whenever we catch a vibe, we can come up with some shit and put it out. And that's what I seen you do, where you come up with Coney, George Christa Button, all these different themes and shit like that, and sticking to an aesthetic. You feel me? I definitely seen you I seen you brand yourself in ways I never thought of, like like having these trademarks. Feel me? Like you one of the niggas I know, like you got a trademark. It's very few.
TM.
Like Spitter got a la da 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 da. like life. Like niggas got they niche, and I feel like that supported you more than having to depend on a system being like, I don't understand this record, or this got to be a hit because it got to get played in Atlanta. It's just like, nah, I've seen you. Same, I could say Dom Kennedy too. Like y'all
Dom
niggas
is
genuinely
another
been
Dom.
yourself, bro.
Dom, Freddie, Wiz,
And go everywhere
Critter,
y'all want, nigga.
Critter,
And it's
Spitter.
when I seen you come to New Orleans and you had fans, bro, I was just like, nah, like this the route right here, bro. You wanna, like, y'all got a fraternity, bro, of niggas who kept it solid with the rap shit, and at the same time figured out a way to bring in a culture that niggas laughed at. You feel me? You know we keep it real, son.
Facts. We gonna keep it all the way on this. I need you here
I
for that.
always look at y'all niggas with the wrestling. I'm like, I don't know how these niggas pulled that off.
Because they was teasing me at the beginning.
Yeah.
It was very
Bro,
uncool
where
to
I'm
the
from,
crowd.
where I'm from in New Orleans, niggas knew they watch wrestling and cartoons, but niggas wasn't trying to talk about that. Niggas want to be hot boys. Niggas want to be gangsters, you
That's
feel
a
me?
fact.
But to see y'all niggas pull it off and then actually end up making it a lifestyle, really getting in with the WWF, WWE,
Absolutely.
like, bro, that's dream. That's like getting your own shoe as a hooper,
Legit.
you feel me? Like,
Legit.
and that's the thing I'm proud of y'all on, bro. Like, niggas didn't just like keep it on some like, and you from the streets, bro. I know you. I know your family. You feel me? Period. Point blank. But I love the fact that you didn't stay boxed in into some typical New York rap shit. I love the fact that you ain't stay boxed into some typical black shit.
Facts.
You feel me? And you broaden this shit and you made it something that I think is going to allow you to stay around for 10 more years, 20 more years, because you associated something that is personal with you within your personality and your music. You feel me? And you going to be able to sit back and one day if niggas need color commentary for some wrestling shit, they gonna hit you and Wale up, nigga. They come and fuck with y'all niggas the long way. You feel me?
That's a fact.
And the newer generation of niggas who are going to follow them footsteps, they gonna probably say like, yeah, I came up on Dza, I came up on Wale and them, cause that's the niggas I seen embracing this shit. You feel me? But that's the biggest thing, bro. Like the fact that you always been about your craft and you nice. You feel me? But beyond that, you not boxed in, bro. Period. Point blank. Like I could say sometimes, maybe in our conversations, I think my ambitions for you, because I know how good you could rap, was different from your lifestyle. You feel me? Because I'm on some shit like, nigga, you nice enough to really be up there with the Fabs and them.
Right.
But it's like, I can't fault Lloyd Banks for wanting to just do the shit that he loved doing. If he just like to sit up and bar up and put his shit out, do it, because it work.
Right.
You feel me? And the same like we talk about Rock Marciano and shit like that. It's like, I like his formula, how he talk about, I'm putting out my shit on a vinyl, it's going up for this, and then for like the first 2 months,
direct to consumer.
Period. I'm getting the most off my money, and then it'll go up on streams.
And he'll take 2 joints off that just so you're not getting the same shit. Just so the people that bought it feel special about what they bought.
Yeah, bro. Y'all niggas brought a formula that I feel like in due time, when niggas be able to look back and see the blog era and the dudes who really, really made it. If I'm correct, you not on none of them covers, right? With like the shit.
They dub me every year.
That's what I'm saying. Hot. So niggas gonna look back and they gonna be like.
But I'm low key glad I wasn't on one of those covers, even though a lot of my friends was on those covers, and it definitely, intensified their careers at that time. However, for the guys that was on that cover and it didn't really work for them, that was an expiration date, that cover, for a lot of people. Because it just put a time clock on you.
Facts.
Like, what you gonna do? And when you don't do it in that time, you cooked. I want to get back to the Drizzy Rocky linkage that you.
Fashion Night Out. I put them together. Fashion Night Out. I remember Rock had hit me, or somebody had hit me with Rock that was into that type of shit. And they was like, we heard Drake gonna have a Versace party, and I was like, yeah, I'll put y'all niggas together. So I hit Drake. I was like, look, Rocky and them gonna come to the party. Them niggas not gonna be dressed in those suits. And so he was like, I ain't tripping. And so they end up linking with him. The nigga Chubbs end up linking up with him and hitting it off and shit like that. And then from there, we just got cool. We all started kicking it and shit like that. Drake was fucking with New York a lot at the time. And then we already fuck with Tommy Campos, so niggas had the A-Life shit where niggas had the backyard and all that. And then Rocky shit was up next. He was about to do the shit, you feel me? And so from there, bro, I just think Drake always been the smarter one to be like, let me not step on these niggas' fingers and let me pull niggas up, bro. Period. He even if he watched this, that nigga know what's up at the time. He's super, super competitive. So he definitely looking at me like, why you playing me these niggas? I'm the nigga. You feel me? Like, I remember playing him Meek, 2 Chainz, all that shit. He like, that shit cool, but he making hits. You know, like niggas making, like the trap wasn't like how you see how the trap streaming now. Like the trap is streaming. It wasn't like that. You feel me? Like it was getting new. It was just like, okay, you had records that you had to make in the South. They had to be a certain type of way, like Lil Johnny, like clubby records. You feel me? Then it got to a point where like I would say Kanye West and Jeezy I put on where the records was kind of more gritty and more darker. They could be hits. You feel me? But they still wasn't like now where like the joints is like super super streams and shit. So Drake had like the Jeezy Lost My Mind remix, Tony Montana, all that shit. So I just was telling them, I'm just like, well, look, I know everywhere else they be playing your shit in LA, and why? Because them major markets, so they gonna play a diverse amount of music in the club. But I would go to the club without Drake, and I'd be up in there, and they would not play nothing from him. because he was rapping long. You feel me? And a lot of them beats wasn't really like the type of beats that niggas was. So I'm just like, bro, you need to like peep the Meek Mill, peep the 2 Chainz and them type of shit like that. Then I introduced him to Kendrick too. This was at the time Kendrick had like Section 80 or some shit. He ended up hearing it. He fucking with the shit now because he listening to it. Then he also smart enough to peep people reaction. Like he may not get it, but then when he see people reaction to it, he just like, all right, cool. Then at the same time, Chief Keef and Lil Reese and them popping. I'm playing this shit all the time. I'm playing Lil Reese up, and I'm playing Chief Keef and all that shit. They hearing it and they just like you gotta think these niggas put melody on everything. So they probably like man, that ain't no hit. Next thing you know, Chief Keef pop off, Lil Reese pop off, Lil Durk start popping off, all the Chicago drill shit start popping off. That's when I feel like the dark shit and the trap shit started really, really going up. You feel me? And he had to be competitive. And the only way he could compete was the collab. Because even you seen Pusha T and them, Kanye and them niggas, they start jumping on records. They jumped on the Chief Keef record. But it damn near was a period where like, Drake and Kanye and them could make hot ass albums, but it didn't necessarily mean they had the hottest song in the club at the time. And I think they start seeing that shit. That's how Jigga and them niggas got together and was like, nigga, we need to do it niggas in Paris.
Facts.
Because you had niggas like Big Sean, he coming through, a nigga
Crushing it.
killing niggas, you feel me?
Yeah.
And Meek Mill coming through with these fast joints. I'm a boss. Niggas in that bitch. That shit was running.
I seen Meek intro go off in the club. This shit was the intro.
I just even before that, I'm a boss was running in that motherfucker. And Rick Ross was running in that time. Rick Ross had he had joints at that time. He had this shit with Rico Love on the hook. He had just like a bunch of trap shit at the time, a bunch of Lex Luger shit that just was killing the club. You feel me? And I think Drake got smart. He started peeping the sound. He started peeping different shit, and then Future crept in. And I feel like Future kind of allowed Drake, because T-Pain had his own wave. It was totally different. But I feel like Future came in and it kind of gave Drake a view of like, oh, this how you come off on the trap shit with the melody. And then next thing you know, you start seeing Drake he collabing with Meek Mill. He collabing with 2 Chainz. And what is he doing on the record? He doing melody on the record. He doing records with Waka Flocka, you feel me? He doing records with Gucci Mane and shit like that. And after that, going on the road, we did the Club Paradise tour. That was when I had the record for him at the time too, with Look What You Done and shit like that. That's when I started seeing like pretty much I knew he was destined to be like the biggest, bro, because I had been to concerts before. You know, you go to concerts coming up, and what's the biggest one you went to? To me, it was Jay-Z at the time, you feel me?
Absolutely.
Rock the Mic tours and the Black Album tours and shit like that. But that was a lot of black people. It would be white people in there, but it was predominantly black people, you feel me? Or Spanish people, people who come from the culture, you feel me? Man, this nigga Drake show
bringing out everybody.
Everybody,
he
nigga.
Bringing out everybody.
Like literally count. Like it wasn't too many white people. It was like every nationality, bro. And I was just like, nah, he hitting a nerve in hip hop that I ain't never seen hit before, because it was more like an identity thing. It was more like it's like years and years of looking at somebody brown skin be the king. It was like niggas like Eminem wasn't like, yeah, it was a short run. I fuck with him, but Drake was like the look in the connection for people to be like, okay, I feel a part of this shit.
Right.
And you start hearing the stories he talking about coming from like being outcasted and overlooked and shit like that, and he making this shit sound fire. And he championed emotional rap to me. Like he gonna forever be the person to me that like brought the emotion where like you rap about emotion, but at the same time, nigga know you for being Smoke Dizza and bragging at the same time too.
Braggadocious.
Where I think Drake, niggas gonna know that nigga for being a dude who came in with them emotions, and he had you feeling that shit in a way that nobody else did before. And then Kendrick came through, I think, and he put the black power on top of it. And that generation didn't have that at the time.
My nigga talking right now.
He knows what the fuck.
So I think that's what make Cole and them. I say Cole is the college person, the kid who.
That story.
The kid who went to school but still want to have a fly life, still want to be the best. You feel me? And Drake is the quote unquote like outcast, like the anomaly, the one you didn't think would do it. And then Kendrick is the black power of the young generation. You feel me? Like, simple as that. That's just what I call it.
That's a good one. That's a good analogy. I never thought about it like
and
that. And
I think it's gonna be hard to be bigger than them, just because of they came in with the machine and they used it properly. You feel me?
Absolutely.
They all three got a unique gift of being able to like be lyrical as fuck and commercial.
That's a fact.
I don't know nobody else that really did
That's
it
a
like
fact.
that.
Hit
Bro.
some horns. That nigga went crazy, boy.
Yeah,
That nigga broke that
the way
shit
they
down.
prioritize their shits. I don't even want to say balance, but the way they prioritize their strengths, they max it out to utilize it. So that's true. Like, you know, around this time, I want to say before the tour, there was a time where Rocky had 3 records: Purple Swag, Pesos, and Four Loko.
Yep.
And you know, we were all working close, because, you know, this is a whole crop of, this is the blog babies. So, you know, we all connected off the internet and, you know, just being outside. But I remember one session, because you said Kendrick, so I wanted to tie this up. I remember Schoolboy came to the lab to come check me in Midtown, and I feel like this is the day he did the verse on Overhigh on Rolling Stone. And I can't recall if Rocky was coming to come check me or if Steve or Calendar bought him. But that's when he met Schoolboy, and they did Brand New Guy in that same session. So the TDE ASAP thing was already a thing that was blossoming.
Yeah.
So the fact that y'all all went on the road, right, that camaraderie built even more.
Yeah, and when they came to LA, that we was all together, and Rocky shit was fun. I ain't even gonna
Rocky
front.
had I
Yeah,
was on tour with
Rocky.
Rocky too. Yeah, Rocky.
Yo.
Rocky. He had a lot of fun, man.
Yes,
it
Rocky
was a lot
shit,
of fun on tour.
Rocky
with
shit was fun because he had the city. He had the city excited as shit. He had the city so excited, bro. Like, he was the one I seen. He was the rock star. Like, he the rock star out that era.
Yes.
Like,
Rap Lenny
seeing
Kravitz.
him, like, it wasn't about the verse. It wasn't about the beat. Like, he was like, I always say he had a Tupac-ness about him where you just wanted to see what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
That's why I-
100%.
and when I was around, I was just like, what is he gonna do today? Like, like, we about to go shopping?
100%.
Like, we about to go here? Like, but he just always had that energy, and he a great person at keeping people around him.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I feel like he also had an eye for what everybody had, and he knew that if he put himself next to them, they would get the proper light for people to be able to see that too. And Yams definitely being special with having the ear and the genius that he had.
Absolutely.
But Rocky shit was, man, like, niggas fighting at the fader shit.
Right.
Nigga shit was
Rocky
fun,
was a rock
bro.
star.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
talking
his shit
to
was
12
fun,
years.
bro.
Yeah.
Like, going on the road and just seeing, like, girls react to them. Like, seeing them go through their first star shit, because they got in early. Like, Kendrick,
And it happened so fast.
I think he might have fucked with like Tech Nine and them already, because J Rock and all that type of shit. So he might have been on the road already before Club Paradise.
Kendrick was on the first Smokers Club in South by Southwest.
And then I had been on the road with Drake and Cole a little bit and shit like that, and fucking with Rocco also a little bit. But Rocky and them came fresh off New York and came straight to the world,
straight
nigga.
to the world.
Talk
no
about
breaks.
that.
No
And
breaks.
seeing them get their first groupie experiences, see them niggas hit cities for the first time, and like, them niggas ain't know what to order to eat. Like, them niggas is real New York niggas at that time, bro. Like, probably ain't never seen a
Facts. No, facts.
place that didn't have pizza like that. You feel me? And cabs and shit. So just seeing how they got together, they stuck together. Seeing Rocky perform and really learning like, okay, like these songs is too slow for me to be performing on stage. I gotta start making better music, not better music, but more music that got more of a rhythm for me to perform.
Up-tempo.
And then performing over the track for the first time and shit like that. And I never forget, man, this nigga Ferg got one of my favorite moments. We was in Texas, and you know, in Texas you do a bunch of shows in Texas, so it's easy to forget what city you in. And we had just did Houston the night before, man. We get on in Austin. This nigga go, shout out Houston. That niggas moved the fuck out this nigga. He was like, oh, my bad, Austin. Then they start cheering again. I said,
That's
bruh.
funny as hell.
But it was beautiful to see these
Moving.
niggas go through that shit, you feel me? Because they was doing their best. They ain't know no better. And then it was so many of them niggas on the road. But it was, Rocky shit was like, I can honestly say that was one of the most fun come-ups that I actually was able to witness, you feel me? Because his shit was really trial and error, like simple as that. Where Drake had more of like a mentorship with coming around with Wayne and being able to see them niggas do it and shit like that. So to see all these different experiences, bro, it should just be a blessing.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. So so I'm staying in that timestamp, but I'm gonna move on. But I'm gonna stay in that whole 2009 to 2000, let's say 12. So you and Hit Boy produced the record for two legends, Lil Wayne and Eminem.
Drop
and
it.
you're actually my first friend to actually win a Grammy.
Facts.
Grammy
You
fan.
gotta
Yo, bro, that's crazy.
can't say that
Nigga, that's
casual.
crazy.
I got you know what I mean. It's casual, but I gotta highlight that. My boy won a Grammy in 2010 over this record. How did you guys get that placement? Like, how was
That came
process?
through once again a Young Money connection. So it's a dude by the name of KY. He engineered. I think he might still engineer for Jack Harlow. He was engineering a lot for Wayne at the time and doing all the Cash Money stuff. Me and him was cool from the studio. He knew me and Hit Boy. He used to come in there. He used to sit in there with his homie Willie Will, and they used to be listening to the beats coming out of the room and shit like that. So he just came to the studio one day in Atlanta, and he was like, man, I gotta get some shit with y'all one day. I start fucking with Young Money over at the studio at Hot Beats. So I was like, all right, for sure. He hit me on Twitter DM one day and said to send some beats through. I sent the beats through. All the beats I sent ended up getting picked. And so a couple of them went on a Young Money album, and then a couple of them with the Wayne, some of them with the Short Dog, different artists on Young Money roster. And then he was like, yo, this one beat, he was just like, hold on to it, don't give it to nobody. And maybe like a couple months later, he hit me, and he was like, man, Wayne used this beat. He was like, it's gonna be big. He was like, we trying to get somebody on it. He was like, send me the files because they need somebody to play. They trying to get guitar played on it. So I get the files from Hit Boy. I end up sending it over and shit. And then next thing you know, he hit me back and he was just like, yo, what's y'all information and whatnot? It's gonna have Eminem on it. So I ain't know the name of the track. We ain't hear the track or nothing, you feel me? So we know the beat. And so the shit ended up coming out, and it's like the talk of the internet, you feel me, at that time. And the craziest part was when the record came out, ended up doing splash, ended up making history, but Wayne ended up going to jail. So it kind of stalled out everything. He wasn't really able to go on the road and promote the shit. But from there, I think that was like a milestone that me and Hit Boy was able to use to start getting more press and market ourselves. We was able to get in Source magazines, XXL magazine. Then that's when the era of like Behind the Beat came in. So I think we was part of the early class of like, okay, this is a hot record right now. Now we about to show you how we make the beat. And then we end up making a beat video that end up hitting the internet and just getting a gang of fucking views.
That's crazy.
Bro.
Early on
And
that.
people just got tapped in with us from there. And then I think Hit Boy had a couple more placements after that ended up being big, like some shit for G Unit. Some shit with Beyonce. We did some shit with Beyonce not too long after that. He did what else did he do? He did some other big shit at that time, bro. But I know we ended up working with Frank Ocean at that time, working on some Brandy shit, but we just was in a good space, bro. Like, we was able to really, really connect with people. We came to New York. We was able to fuck with Puff on some shit. We ain't end up getting nothing on Last Train to Paris, but we just ended up being able to spend a lot of time with him and get around different energy and shit like that.
One time, like, riding around
in Jeeps and shit, going look for G-Dep. Hell yeah. So,
G-Dep.
yeah,
Shout out
man,
G-Dep.
that was like swagger.
Harlem.
That was swagger like us days and shit. You feel me? So, being able to be in Record Plant, Kanye was making swagger like us. We was just able to be around like a crazy, crazy energy of people that we looked up to, and I think it made us like want to go to the studio every day and live up to that. Like, you would hear the music leaking out in the hallways, and you just like, nah, man, I want niggas to come knock on my door. I want niggas to come in here and ask what we doing. So, just to be able to say that we was in that environment, especially the shit with Puff. Like, Puff had niggas in the nightlife. You feel me? Like, that shit was crazy. Like, going to One Oak for the first time and being able to really experience that shit. I remember going to One Oak and it was Robin Thicke's birthday, nigga. And he was in there singing and playing. I think he was playing the piano in that motherfucker. I was so high, I don't even really remember, but I just know it was Robin Thicke's birthday. And me and Hit Boy used to go back to the hotel at night and be talking about this shit. And be like, damn, like we really living this shit. And it took a while to get to the point where it wasn't dreamy.
Right.
Because it felt dreamy for a while. And then it got to the point where it was just like, all right, cool. Now you got to produce, bro. Like, you really, really got to step up. And then from there, that's when Drake came right after that with 2011 with Take Care. And that experience really was like the one that showed me like, all right, the person that you knew was going to be the shit is finally at that place in time. Now you got to actually come with some shit that's going to stamp you. That's really how I felt. I remember having a bunch of records with him, but none of them was getting placed, or none of them had like the energy of them that they was going to make the album or anything like that. And I remember going on a blog. He had that OVO blog, and they posted that video. And I remember listening to that shit. And at first I had replayed it, and I was just like, man, I'm about to just sample that shit straight up. Because I'm thinking on some like, man, I ain't going to clear the sample. Then I'm like, man, this Drake, man. Fuck this shit. I sampled this shit, sent it to the nigga. The nigga told me, he was like, man, look, take the drums out on this part. I ended up taking the drums out, changing it, sending the files over to 40. And I remember when nigga did the song and hearing the shit, and I just was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm straight. I'm straight. And the main reason why is because I knew it didn't sound like, I was having a hard time coming up with a sound for him. Because everything we was doing with everybody else was so hard hitting, so like a certain beat, a certain bounce, and that just was not Drake Pocket at the time. And I remember I just was like, you know what? I'm just about to go extra R&B. That's why I was like, let me go R&B instead of rap, because I feel like my focus was so like, I want to rap. I want some rap shit with this nigga.
And that was a live video you sampled, right?
Yeah.
That's the crazy part about that shit. That was a live video you sampled.
Yeah, bro. And I think the
R.I.P., man.
I think the feeling and like the instinct. I think one thing about making music, you gotta go off instinct. When you start going from here, it's gonna be whack. It probably sound good. It ain't gonna feel good. You feel me? And I know that from making beats. You feel me? Because you can make some shit. And you could be like, you trying to think of some shit to do different instead of just going off of the flow. I think that's the beautiful thing about sampling. It give you like a feeling to go off of. Because sometimes it can be hard trying to produce something that you might not be in the mood for at the time. You feel me? Like, I might wake up and let's say I got some money in the bank. I might be on some like, nigga, I'm trying to make some up-tempo shit today. You feel me? But I go in with an artist, and the artist is trying to paint a different picture. It might be tough, especially for me it was, because I'm not sitting down like no classic trained piano just going straight to the chords and being like, boom, I wish I was 1500. You feel me? That's why niggas fuck with them like that, because they could go straight to that place. You feel me?
Yep.
And I think the thing that happened for me was, let me get a palette. Let me get something that I know you like already, and then let me build from that. And me going to that blog and being able to get some information and being able to get something to build off of, I think always put me in a good space with artists, you feel me? And even with We Ball, like how We Ball came about with Dom Kennedy, That was some last minute shit. You know what I mean? His man Jovan, who do Fresh Crew, me and him cool. He was like, I'm helping A&R Dom. I send a pack through. So I'm like, I listen to Dom Kennedy music. I don't really be hearing him on no shit that's bouncy like that. It's always on some like West Coast shit, West Coast bop. But he do fuck with soul.
Right.
So I was like, if I'm from the South, or if I'm from somewhere where I like Dom Kennedy, but I go to the club or I go out to a party, what record would I play from him that could easily slide in with all this other shit that's going on? And I was just like, all right, I'm good with pianos. Look what you done as a piano. I go straight to some shit. I go through the samples. I hear the shit. I'm just like, all right, let me loop this up. Boom. Put a certain bop to the shit. I was like, I ain't never heard Dom on like some like NO bounce type shit. You feel me? Send it over. Next thing you know, the nigga get on it. Kendrick get on it. And it's kind of like, I think the reason why people fuck with that record so much is because it's just a different Dom Kennedy record.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Like, it ain't up tempo where it's like super, super fast, or like no fake mustard shit where you trying to make some fake West Coast shit. But at the same time, it's not West Coast music just got a certain bop, and it's like a acquired taste.
That's
you feel
a
me?
fact.
You
That's
can't
a
just
fact.
throw that on in Atlanta and just get niggas to fuck with it. But I feel like with that record, you could throw that shit on. You feel me? And just be like, okay, this a joint from Dom Kennedy. This a West Coast nigga, but I ain't disturbing the bop. So, keeping in mind different people personalities, even when I work with you, you feel me? Like, I feel like the most recent shit we did that had Dom on it, you feel me? It's like Dom being a person who lived like a lifestyle, and that's worth talking about, that's worth bragging about. It was like the vibe with the strings and the Eric Bellinger hook. It give you this good life feel, you feel me?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Survivor's remorse.
Yeah, man.
Yo, look, I wanna read something to you. This is from December 17th, 2008.
Wow.
All right, and this is my friend Jesse. Okay. Before I even get into anything, Surf Club, Zone 4 Inc., Interscope. So, I'm sitting on a cloud with some Jordan 3 OGs on my feet, having Kush for breakfast. Crazy, I know. This type of mental is what actually allows me to keep the little bit of sanity I have left. Also, I use the cloud reference to symbolize I feel the life that I've been blessed to lead, and the core individuals in my life that I share this with can only be sent from the man above, God. Yesterday I was blessed to get up with the homie Drake, who I'm sure you all know, and if you don't, you're lame. He played me some music, and above all, we got to talking about some shit, talking about the music business as well. We talked about how much we've grown in a little time, how much we pursuit of this quote-unquote dream we all hold dearly to us. I personally feel like Drake is the next person to be considered the best rapper ever. He's beyond polished. His demeanor on all his records just sound like he belongs doing this. Drake and Chili Chill will help lead the way back to easy listening, enjoyable songs, i.e. Jay-Z, Snoop, Biggie type shit. As far as life on another note, I'm interested to see what happens in the good old US of A. I've been watching CNN on some OD shit because they talk so much money. Every other word is billions. Shit is crazy. I like to shout out Barack Obama as well and send him all the prayers in the world. He's a real G. They're about to hand over this pile of shit economy to him, and I feel like he's going to handle it like a boss should. Inspiring. I'm finished. Surf Club. The SurfKidBlogspot.com. I'm like the DJ Khaled with this promo.
That's
Chasing
hilarious.
Cash.
That's hilarious.
Shout out to Steven Brown. He sent me this.
Hilarious.
This was a time. What was going on in this time? This is before Barack Obama got elected.
Yeah.
Or actually when he first. I don't even think he got sworn in yet.
Okay,
'Cause this is December.
At that time, I'm still fresh off Hurricane Katrina. So if a lot of people may not know my story, being from New Orleans, I really went through Katrina.
That's
you know
a
what I
fact.
mean? So, I vividly remember Kanye West being like, George Bush don't fuck with black
right.
people. You
Mhm.
feel
That
me?
too.
And
That touched you different.
yeah,
pause.
yeah,
You know what I'm
You know what I
saying?
mean? It's different when you in it. You know what I mean? I lived in a motel because I couldn't go home. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to not see friends again for 10 years because they got displaced. And I think at that point in time, I was starting to come into my awakening as like what a black man was and what my responsibility was starting to get into success. You know what I mean? And opportunity and being around people like Drake, who I felt like him coming from Canada too. I wanted to be some sort of protection, you know what I mean, around somebody who's just like, you know, I come up around people like niggas gonna fuck with you for your talent, but then outside of that, you know what I mean, like we also got a certain way that we move out here. Absolutely. That he may not be able to read, you feel me? And I always felt like that about him and Hit Boy. I always felt like they talent. Chili Chill too. I meant what I said. I feel like Chili Chill got derailed by certain business situations that ended up happening at that time, but the response around his music and when people met him was that, you feel me? Like he always gave me Max B vibes, bro. But like, yeah, you can't control him, but you kind of don't want to, because that's the magic that come with it.
Right.
But the fucked up thing in business is, similar to Max B, a pen stroke can send your career off on a whole nother note, you feel me? And some decisions outside of music can send you on a whole different path. Absolutely. And that's exactly what happened. They both ended up having similar careers, you feel me? Where Chili Chill ended up having some legal shit happening with him in the street, and then on some business shit, he ended up doing some business that ended up kind of like stalling him out for a bit. And I think with me being able to look at the economy, I'm also on social media at that time and starting to see that I got more of a voice. And I think the main thing was I ain't want to be typical, bro. I ain't want to be this person that was just in the music business and then didn't have no opinion. Same way these athletes feel, you feel me? I'm more than an athlete. And I ain't want to sit up and I felt like if I started early doing that shit, it wouldn't put me in no pickle with no placements or nothing, because it was kind of like, you either fuck with me and you fuck with the music and you see how I am, and if I'm consistent with the shit, and I feel like that's exactly what happened. Like, still to this day, I could get up on Twitter and express my opinion, and I know how to do it in a way that's not disrespectful. But I feel like people now have seen my track record where they just like, all right, dude ain't just saying this shit from no vindictive place. He ain't just saying this shit as a person who inexperienced. Because sometimes you'll see very, very, very good opinions from people who ain't valid.
Right.
And so when I see that, I'm just like, I take that with a grain of salt. But somebody that's valid saying some shit that's a good opinion, I don't take that with a grain of salt. I listen to them, period. We may have differences between us at the end of the day, but I can accept some shit that I understand is common sense, you feel me? And if that's 2008, we get in the game in 2006. I'm 2 years in the game, you feel me? And then I came in quick, because at the end of the day, you know, from fucking with you with Sean Kingston, that's like our little training camp period. But when I go fuck with Polo, that nigga the hottest nigga in the world at the time. Yeah, period. You feel me? Fergie, fucking Pussycat Dolls, you name it, nigga. He the hottest nigga at the time. And then he fucking with Timbaland, putting Timbo back in position, and Timbo got shock value and all this shit. So Jimmy Iovine is just fucking with dude on a different level, and I'm seeing this. I'm meeting Jimmy Iovine. His nephew is my manager at the time. I'm seeing the Soulja Boy shit get worked and pushed and all that shit. So I felt like at that time I was just like coming into my own. And I think if you go look at my tweets back in that period in time, I might have been a little bit of reckless. I can honestly say that, because I'm young. Fuck, it's 21. That's 13 years ago. So I'm 20 at the time. But I'm 20 with a different wisdom, you feel me? I don't think I necessarily knew how to express it all the way, and I think that's what the blog was for, because I'm seeing other people on the blogs do that. I'm familiar with Nah Right. I'm seeing Nah Right express their opinion, but I don't want niggas who not really in this shit just to have the only opinion, because I feel like for a moment in time, that's what it turned to. Like, it started getting to a point where it was like, if niggas know they couldn't rap, they was gonna go the media route. Then niggas went the media route, and they started covering the media, and then they was the first niggas to start getting these type of mics. And then it was almost like a land grab, where it was like, all right, y'all niggas too busy rapping, well, we gonna be the niggas reviewing y'all raps. We gonna be the niggas talking about this album hot and this album ain't hot. And then you start seeing these rap personalities, rap critics. You start seeing rap critics start having a face, where it used to just be within a magazine.
That's a fact.
Now they got faces, you feel me? And they popping up with their own individual things, and they not in the studio. One thing about you, and you know me, son, I done been, you know, I sit in a session and I don't gotta have nothing to do with it. And I ain't gonna be no
I love
hater.
you in the sessions.
Period, bro. I'm gonna be in that motherfucker being
Chase
productive.
is the nigga to be like, I rap the hardest verse in my life to me. And it will be hard to him too. You'll love it. And he'll be like, man, you rap too long, man. Man, cut that shit down, man. You want to rap all day. You want to rap so long, man. Cut that shit down to 4 bars. You said everything you had to say.
That's a fact.
And I would be annoyed, like, damn, nigga, cut my shit down. Cut it down, bro. Niggas don't want to hear all that rapping all day. They heard it already. Get to the point. But he's fucking right. He's right. So I just wanted to say
Yeah,
that,
nah. And my whole thing is, my whole thing is, you know, being in the studio, I know that artists get a best. You know what I mean? The ones that really want to do this shit, like they be in there, like they so zoned in. They it's not that they overthinking, but I just think sometimes it's almost like it's like knowing when to call a timeout on the court.
Right.
That's what I think it is. You feel
Crucial.
me? Like
That's
I'm
crucial.
sitting here and I'm watching y'all niggas play hard as hell. You don't want to come out the game. I know you don't want to come out the game. You the starter. Then you don't want to come out. Time out, bruh. Look, bruh. Come here real quick. Chill out. Sit down for a minute, 2 minutes, and then go back to the scoreboard, bro. You good. Trust me. You just need a little break. Then you end up seeing something happening in the game where somebody get a foul. It be the nigga you was checking. Now he out there. All right, now go get back in there because now you got a bench nigga on you. Go get your buckets now. Go do your thing. Go get loose. And I think it's the same thing in the studio where like artists like you who got such a great work ethic. I don't want to see y'all go in the studio the same way every day. You feel me? Some days you gon' 64 bar because that beat gonna call for that.
Right.
But then you gonna have to go in there and be like, I gotta pick certain type of beats because I haven't really been on these type of vibes. Now I'm gonna find somebody to sing on this motherfucker real quick. And No ID also told me some shit one time where he was like, you don't want too much of you on a song because music is collaborative, period, point blank. And I feel like
other voices always.
yes, and I feel like a period in my time being a person that can make the beat, do the hook, all that shit, you want to be the first person on it.
Right.
And it's like, nah, like let somebody else start it off. Let somebody else get a piece of it and see where they gonna take it, and then follow that lead, and then do your thing off of that. And there's gonna, like I said, there's gonna be your moments where you're gonna bar up. I think with you always prepare for that. But I think the gift that you have with
That's his
being able,
nature.
yeah.
That's
But
his
the
nature.
gift that you have, it's like a nigga who could score. It's like a nigga who could score a lot. You feel me? It's just like, I know you could get 50,
But pass the ball a little bit.
give me 30, 10, and 10.
Pass the ball a
30, 10,
little
and
bit,
10,
man. Yeah,
Give
B,
me
you
30,
can pass
10,
the
and
ball a
10.
little bit.
Make some other niggas feel good. Make some other niggas feel good, bro. For real. Like, let some other niggas get in on the game with you and have a post-game interview and be like, yeah, you know, Smoke was hot. And then he just started passing the rock to me.
That's a fact.
And next thing you know, I start hitting. And that to me is what music is right now. You feel me? Like, niggas have no problem passing the ball. And I think if it stay in this place, it's only gonna keep growing. It's only gonna keep growing. You feel me? And we talk about it with Griselda, and I tell you, like, I love Benny. You feel me? I fuck with his shit, but it's like you explain to me, like, he doing this shit like the greatest soldier. You feel me? Like, he coming at this shit where like, let me knock this shit out the park. Let me go hard with this shit.
So I do what I want to do.
Yep, exactly. You feel me? And I think that's the same space that you in, bro, where like you starting to expand with your business portfolio. I think a lot of the things that you're doing with the weed stuff outside of this is really starting to cement the world that you've been painting for so long. You feel me? I think weed being legal now is just gonna be the craziest shit for you.
my
you know what I
dog,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be something that's really gonna open the door for you because you really like how niggas like, yeah, you the New York Snoop Dogg. It's like now you can really start being
Stamp
like,
it.
yeah, nigga, I've
Stamp
been on
it,
this.
my dude.
I've been on this shit. You feel me? And that shit is gonna be beautiful, bro. I can't wait to see what you do with it.
Question. I'm my fault, bro.
Go ahead.
Do you like to be behind the music more and structuring artists or the artist?
I think I've realized now that I like being behind the scenes. I think I like
Did
being...
that because that what worked out for you more?
No, I think a reality check came in with the amount of work that I put in at the craft, the practice. I will put myself in the Allen Iverson lane. You see how Iverson don't got no ring? But you see his effect on the game and like people and players. Niggas say they meet AI. They like, man, that nigga real. I'm in that lane. You feel me?
Right.
Like,
I'm with you.
Like
I see
him,
that.
Hit Boy, Freddie, all my niggas. Like them niggas got rings. You feel me? Like, cause I see him put the craft in. I see him.
You got a Grammy, my brother.
I see. No. But look, I realized at that time period who I got that Grammy aligned with, and that's like Pippen playing with Jordan.
Team player.
It's not that I wasn't practicing the same time. Like I felt like the energy that I had with Hit Boy in the Surf Club, I'm not stupid. It was so good and so big. I'm like, nigga, I'm about to do my bid. I'm about to do what I gotta do. But I felt like after that, when I was able to start getting a little piece of like J. Cole, Drake, and Rocky and all these different things, I started seeing how my input and my direction, I was able to do that more consistently than I was being able to sit down and make beats for niggas, you feel me? Because I come clean. Everything Rocky made, it wasn't that I was always liking that shit. I fuck with the nigga as a person, you feel me? So it's like, whatever my bro want to make it. I'm just going to give you my opinion if I think that shit going to go or not, you feel me? Same thing with Cole. Cole will tell you, like, I did not fuck with Workout, bro. But then he broke down to me. He was just like, nigga, I don't think that's my greatest song. But he was like, I'm at this point where I need something for the radio because I'm being touted as one of like the next up and coming artists. So if I don't got a song for Power 106, if I don't got something for them to play, they gonna be like, nigga,
that
you
song
ain't got
grew.
Shit.
That song
Man,
grew
that shit
as
pop,
it.
nigga.
Yeah,
that shit blew up. And
Shit.
I always use that as a reference for being like, everybody not gonna like what you like, and some people gonna love what you don't like. And you got to be able to understand that. You feel me? Like, I know what I like from music. You feel me? I know what I like to hear, and I have my moments where I go outside of the box and I listen to different artists and shit like that. But I'm a realist, bro. Like, I put more time into being a fan of the science of the game, paying attention to what you doing marketing wise and the niggas that I fuck with in the business, and making sure that niggas like you, like, we got a relationship with Hovain, and
I was gonna get into that next.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So like my relationship with Hovain from the start, it's always like we met on some kind of like executive type shit, and he was working with an artist. I start producing that artist. We start moving as a unit together and shit like that. And so I feel like my brain has always been more on like I came up on the Puff Daddies, you feel me? Like
Right.
I came up on the Birdmans.
The record that you made for that guy.
Yeah, you feel me? So I think when I look back, I pay attention to more what's going on, then I tunnel vision out and just be like, that's what my brother Hit Boy is amazing at. He is amazing at just going to the fucking studio and tuning out the world and sitting down and just making them fucking. And I have my times when I do that. I have my spurts when I do it, but I gotta feel it. You feel me? And I think once I started realizing that everything that was going on is what made me love doing this shit, that's what made me get involved in the business, because I think that's the only way you're gonna stay around.
Absolutely.
You either gonna be a supreme talent or you're gonna be good at business.
Simple
as that.
Some people have the worst case of both. Now, look, I want to get back to something you said, and I mean, people know the innuendos. You can get it. I was happy because the eyes was on the city, and obviously, you know, everybody knows how far I go back with you, and I go back far with Hovain too. 05, 06, Rich Hill days, and I was salty that I did not get that fucking beat. I'm not gonna hold you. I was salty, and this was a time where we all was vying for the spot. This is Coney era. Like, and you inspired Coney a lot too. So blindly, or maybe you knew because you just a smart nigga like that, we all was competing, vying for that spot. And you would come say, hey, you would be with me and be like, yo, I did XYZ for such and such. That shit hard. Them niggas is going hard. And you need to do it like this. And I used to be mad, like, these niggas ain't harder than us. But in a competitive way. So
and niggas wasn't, but I could say this. I think at the time, Hovain was an X factor
Absolutely.
He just was an X factor, bro. Like your guys was so nice. It was kind of hard to get niggas on the same page. You feel me?
That was our problem.
Yeah,
not being
like,
on the same page.
And Wayno was coming in trying to do his best. You feel me? Like,
Niggas
like
wasn't listening.
the nigga, the music on that RFC tape that's on live mixed. Man, that shit crazy. That's some fire on there, bro.
Facts.
Even
Ralphie's
like the
forgotten
like the shit Nim was spitting on the 183rd beats. Like it's some shit, bro. It's some shit. Like I remember the Nimlo Wave song and like all the shit. Like me and him had a crazy joint.
What
like,
was the shit we did? Orange Bowl? Is that the name of it?
yeah, Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Like we had like with the Mookie hook. Yeah, that's with the Mookie hook. Like so
Mookie
I
Jones.
just think that we was catering to the individualism too much in RFC. Because niggas knew you was the leader and niggas knew you was the guy, but at the same time, Doe was getting in the bag, you feel me?
was.
And Nim was hard and effortless with him, you feel me? And then 183rd, me and him hitting it off, and we did a whole tape together, you feel me? And
Facts.
third was just like Third was like a and1 producer. Like that nigga was like a street baller. Like that nigga, he didn't even
Facts.
have a lot of
Crazy.
sounds.
Facts.
Yeah, he didn't even
Facts.
have a lot of sounds. But
Facts.
whatever he had, he was just making the
was
shit work.
making
You
it- he
feel
was
me?
making that shit
And
do
making
what it do.
bangers with the shit. So
Facts.
I feel like I was able to get with him and just start being like I think you could be way more polished. You feel me? And I think the one thing with the other situation was the other niggas was just riding. They were just rolling, bro. Period. And with the fact the way that dude was, he also was getting a different energy that you was getting. You feel me? I feel like you was accepted and you was welcome because you was stamped at this time. The crew thing was a new idea for you. Yeah, that was a new idea for you.
Yeah.
And I think also because niggas knew you for fucking with Spitter and all this different shit too. It was like niggas probably trying to see like how is that all gonna come into play? Is Spitter gonna be on a project too? You feel me? Because you know people had their connections that they want to continue to see go out through your music. But on the other side of the coin, dude didn't really have no producers like that. You feel me? Like niggas was counting them out. Niggas was saying all you rap about
Facts.
is this
Facts.
bad energy.
Facts.
You feel me?
Facts.
And I think my main thing with you was like I knew y'all had the same connections because it wasn't like you didn't fuck with Ebro and it wasn't like you didn't fuck with Rosenberg and all these niggas. But I felt like the space you was in, maybe I probably didn't send you that beat because a nigga be with you, you feel me? And then I be with dude and we out doing jiggy shit. Like like niggas is doing parties.
And I ain't gonna lie, I like dude shit, and I like dude.
Nah,
at the
nigga,
time.
yeah, dude
At
was
the time,
man,
dude was cool.
he definitely
you know what I mean?
was.
So it never was a personal
Man,
thing. It
nigga
was
pulled
just
the
a-
okey doke on niggas, man.
Look, I ain't even. Look though, but you know,
It ain't no love lost,
it ain't
son.
no. But at the however I don't even want to get into that. But at the time, I never had an issue with dude. A real issue never was an issue at all.
it was all competition, bro. I
for New York.
honestly
I felt
know
that
that.
way for everybody at that time.
I
From
always knew
Bronson
that,
to
bro.
every niggas I was next to, I felt that way. Even though it was all love, they all my comrades. But that's that with that. Now let me ask you a question. There's something else that you had said, where it's like you listen to somebody that has experience, or just not you, just period. You would listen to somebody with experience more than you would listen to somebody that might be saying the right thing, but is inexperienced in that field. Now, I feel like one of the biggest misconceptions, it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, of Chase and Cashe to some people that are a little sensitive, they may look at it as an ego thing.
I'm sure.
Right?
I get it a lot.
And me knowing you, right, because I'm somebody that confides and listens to you because you're a GPS. You know how to get there, right? Has there ever been a time in your career where you felt like your pride got in the way of the business?
Yeah, too. Surf Club and OVO. Like I feel like the way I handled the Drake relationship at one point could have been handled way better. I felt like the nigga owed me something. Like I was young. I'm seeing niggas boom, and I'm so used to being around a nigga. I'm not understanding that this a privilege. Like I like niggas in the Beverly Hills hotel for weeks at a time. like nigga paying for your food, and then you seeing other niggas get it too. So you kind of I'm used to the shit, bro. But at the same time, I'm just like, all right, cool. I feel like I'm playing my part. So like now, where is my opportunity for me to get the alley-oop? You feel me? And I just handled it poorly. You feel me? Like little catty shit. You feel me? I feel like I could have just been more grateful of the opportunity at the time. Not saying that it could have happened if I would have got my mind right, but I just think at the time, dude had started doing it so big, and then Rocky and all them niggas had started shooting up. And then Rocky had gave me a verse. So I also think that kind of fucked my head up too. Because I'm looking at it like, okay, like, nigga, y'all niggas got a song together, but Rocky hot. Like it's a difference between being a homie and being hot. So Drake not at homie level no more. But I'm thinking he is, you feel me? So in my mind, I'm just like, damn, nigga, like, can a nigga get a verse? Like, man, what's good? Like, what's good?
I feel myself.
And it's not like he denying me, because niggas is going back and forth. But this Drake, it got to be some shit that's hot too. It can't just be some homie shit. But I'm stuck in the homie mind. I'm like, nigga, we been rocking since day one, nigga. Like, it should be like, nigga, give me the magic, nigga. Like, but I'm seeing Rock and all these niggas, they got a team. So I don't got no team either at the time, because I'm part of niggas' teams.
Right.
So I'm starting to sit back and I'm thinking, then with the Surf Club shit, me and Hit Boy wasn't no beef, but I went my way to start my artistry. He went and fucked with good music. And I felt like instead of playing both sides and being like, all right, cool, like let's like still be close to the niggas, still this, it was kind of like a gap just ended up going in between niggas for a period of time, you feel me? And we communicated and shit like that, but I think it left people who was used to seeing us together for so long wondering. And then this nigga never stopped. So he keep going. So niggas is like, what's up with Surf Club? But you know why it hurt? I'm the only person getting that question. Niggas ain't coming to Hit Boy really saying that, you feel me? Because he booming. He niggas in Paris. He
Right.
niggas looking at you like, what's up with Surf Club? I'm like, But the graces of God, you feel me? Brotherhood is strong, you feel me? And niggas end up patching it up. But I could definitely say that period where I was just like, your vision can be stubborn, you know what I mean? It got to be flexible. I understand that now. Like, my vision got to be able to fit other people in it and how they want to live their life. Right. I think my shit was on some shit like, I seen niggas rock like this. Why we not rocking like that? And it's like, bro, I don't know what Drake going through when he go home at the end of the day. And then at the same time, I don't know what Hit Boy going through if I'm not calling and trying to communicate with them about that, because I ain't really know about communication at that point either. I'm young as fuck, bro, and we all just really like going off rap. Like, I felt like even the relationships was just like, they ain't start getting personal on some like trying to figure out grown man shit until the rap shit just started becoming like
a thing.
It was so popping, and niggas started getting their success where niggas could do their own thing. Now when niggas ain't gotta lean on each other like that no more, and niggas can start expressing themselves, you start being able to see niggas, not saying for real, but you get being able to see what niggas really want to be on. And Drake started building out OVO. I didn't feel pushed out, but it was like at the same time, it was like, I don't want to be OVO at the end of the day, because like they my niggas, but I'm still thinking about how I'm gonna figure out this Surf Club shit.
Right.
Then I'm seeing Hit Boy do the good music shit, and I'm just like, well, fuck. Like, how can I tell a nigga who fucking with Jay-Z to stop fucking with them? Like, I can't. Right. You feel me? And it put me in a place of like, who are you? What type of person are you in business? You feel me? Because I knew people fucked with me personally at the end of the day, because I still had you and many other people as friends at this time. And Money Matt being a backbone for me at that time, going through all this shit, you feel me? He another person, he stick to his guns. Yeah, so does. That's why I think I was able to lean on him, because at the same time, whatever I needed, I was just like, you know what, bro? I need a team. He was like, I manage you. I act like I'm your manager. Then Dow came in, and then I added a person. So once I started getting a team, I started feeling like it gave more of what I was saying validity. It's kind of like, dude ain't tripping, because he got some other niggas who also some good people and some good thinkers fucking with him now. So once the Camp by Respect, Crown Bearer shit start coming along, and I start being able to go around people with my own shit, I think people just started receiving me differently. And then once I started seeing that, I was like, I don't want to just be known for placements. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool on 1 Grammy. I swear to God. If a nigga end up getting more, God bless. But I'm really cool with 1. I would rather be... Okay, you seen how we ran in the Stout the other day? I'm on some shit like that, bro. I swear to God. I'm on some getting the homies deals that they ain't think they could get. I'm on some getting them the deals they think they could get. I'm on some like, yo, look, you know I'm in Nashville now. You got 25 on you to go in on this business because we about to build some shit down there. I'm on that, bro. Like, I'm on some Rick Ross is paid off chickens. You feel me? Like, I can get paid off the vegan. You feel me? Like, but I don't really, I love Rap City. You feel me? I don't think I love rapping as much as I love living a life. You feel me? That's what make you special, bro. You got a great balance of both. You know what I mean? But like I say, like I was gonna say earlier, like I've seen you go in the studio, and if you got studio time, you gonna use it. You feel me? You know how I am, nigga. It'll turn into a podcast in that motherfucker.
That's a fact.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Unless I really got it on my mind to do some music or make a beat or rap, nigga, go in that bitch and talk life. Because I like the aura. And I know it rub off on other people who might get on the mic.
It's infectious.
Yeah, so for me, it was just like, then it took me to see the movie about Clarence Avant. Gave me a lot of perspective on like who I could be in this shit.
What a great fucking
yeah,
movie,
you feel
right?
me? So when I start seeing that and I start seeing like how he handled the Babyface L.A. Reid shit and helped him get a better deal. That's me. Like I want to get in. I want to get in position to one day be like,
he's the Godfather. Yeah,
I know Hit Boy is the greatest. Y'all need to give him a deal. He need a Beats by Dre type deal one day, nigga. Period.
I'm sure he's gonna get it.
You feel me? Nigga. We need you to be the black on rolling paper that everybody fucking with, nigga. Period. Point blank.
I'm gonna be the first black wrestling promoter.
Look,
talk your shit,
look,
Smoke.
man. Look, where was we? Where
Where
was we at the other day? Amongst them people.
Yo, I want to
you.
say out loud, thank you for taking me to the Knicks game.
Oh, love, man.
yesterday.
That's the goal, man.
Because I haven't really been outside, right? I'd get dressed to sit at my desk, right?
But what a game! What a game to go to, though.
But I went to the last game of the season. You know what I mean? And we was amongst a lot of good. I got to relink with a good friend of mine, Pete Davidson. Shout out to Pete Davidson. I saw him at the game. Fucking, you know, we was amongst a lot of great energies, great people. Questlove, Nas, Fat Joe, Steve Stout, John Stewart, Leon. There's a lot of people in the building, and I want to appreciate you and thank you for thinking of me to fucking go to that fucking game, because you know I'm a diehard Knickerbocker.
Nah, that's the goal, man. And honestly, you know, look, man, I'm one of them niggas. I sit up on YouTube and watch them old DVDs, and Jim Jones and Dame Dash, they two of my favorite niggas to watch. And I love one of my favorites is Dame taking Jim to the art show and like introducing him to niggas and shit like that. You feel me? And that's just what I'm on, bro. Like, you feel me? Like, we familiar with Steve Stout and all these niggas, but we ain't seeing them in them spaces. So I want us to not just see them niggas in the street and not in passing. I want them niggas to see us in peripheral, you know what I mean? And see us in these certain areas where they operate, you feel me? And I think that's the biggest thing that I could do right now, man, is like, I want us to be in these places where I know our music is and I know our energy is received. And you see how we in there watching the game, enjoying it, but at the same time, what is my mind always on? Like, this shit could be wavier than this.
Absolutely.
Like,
yo, why the DJ playing?
Like,
why you not playing DMX?
He playing West Coast music.
Why you not playing Dipset?
Yeah, like you playing.
Yeah.
And I think that's always like New York. From the time I came to New York, I've always felt the love, man. Like, this a place where niggas will tell you do your first show, you'll get booed coming from the South. And I ain't got nothing but love every time I done perform here. You feel me? And I think it's also because people see how I pick up the energy. And I think that's one thing about New York is like, if you can assimilate and not be corny, they gonna fuck with you. Just don't be corny. Don't be out here trying to be...
And be yourself, man.
Yeah, you feel me? And I think that people know that I'm not from here, but they see me fuck with the people on all levels, you feel me? Like, I could go to Dykeman and fuck with my nigga Dark and them. I could come to Harlem and fuck with you. And, nigga, we walking.
Facts.
Like, niggas is walking from the west side to the east side to go get food,
we
nigga.
going to Evelyn's Kitchen. Shout out to
Period.
Evelyn's Kitchen.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think I think those experiences is how I want to continue to build. I don't want to be a nigga that can't pop out. I like the fact that I could pop out. I like the fact that we went to the game the other day, and if niggas knew who you are or they knew who I was, niggas was letting us rock out.
Facts.
It was love, you feel me?
Facts.
Then when you seen your man there, you and him chopped it up and kicked it. And I think me and my shorty go back and forth. She be like, "You don't fuck with New York, do you?" I'm like, "I do," but I'm like, I don't think I'm in the. I think my thing is this: I know where I see myself, and in New Orleans and in LA, I'm in a great space in my life. Niggas fuck with me at home. I could damn near do whatever. And in LA, I've been there. I became a man there. But in why I feel like this the one place where you can't leave too long. Cause if you leave this bitch,
They forget
It
you.
move fast,
yeah,
man.
yeah. So I ain't gonna front. A
Blockchain,
nigga came back.
change,
A nigga came back intimidated, bro. Like, how I'ma catch the groove back? Like, what's popping? Cause you know, at that time I could lean on y'all. I'm like, I'm in Harlem. I'm about to just go fuck with the homies real quick. Whatever them niggas doing today, that's what I'm doing.
Right.
Now nigga 33 years old. You know what I mean? The game is up, and it's like, all right, cool. Got these relationships. Let me figure out a way to use them. And luckily, niggas get tickets to the game and shit like that. So I'm like, let me bring you and Hove. You feel me? And that's because I know that y'all active out here. That's me leaning on y'all again. Because if I would have went to the game by myself, I'm sure I would have met all them same people. But the energy around me, I probably wouldn't have been confident. But I'm confident around y'all. You feel me? And it's not that I'm not a confident person, but New York City, this bitch,
is
New York.
intimidating.
Yeah,
New York,
Big
bro.
City. The Big Apple,
It's
baby.
New York, bro. It's
Nigga,
New
I'm
York.
from here and I be feeling
That's
that.
a
So I
fact.
know how that shit
This
feel.
shit move, boy.
Word. So my guy's show has this segment on our show.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah. I'm gonna just play you a little stupid music.
Don't worry about it. Look. Give it to me. Pause.
All right. So this nigga got a segment on the show
You
called
fuck with porn?
There you go. Pornstar.
No homo.
No homo, but my nigga,
Yes,
it
sir.
is what it
Yes,
is.
sir. Yes, sir.
Do you got a porn star of the week for me?
Francesca James.
Oh, that nigga. Hey, yo, we about 4 for 4. Yo, I appreciate
Francesca James. Francesca
Hey,
James.
yo,
Come
lobbing
on, man.
it up. The hair has spoken.
Come on, man.
Francesca James.
Yeah, man. Nah, she official, man. I got put on to her years back. Young bull. But yeah, nah. I Colombian, yeah, that's for sure. They go crazy, but yeah, I just always liked her scenes because they like passionate as fuck. She got a crazy body.
Right.
And then after that, I'm gonna go Tiana Trump. Super. She go crazy.
Yo,
She know
my
how to
nigga
act.
is spitting.
This nigga's so
Yeah.
excited.
And then
This is
I
a
ain't- you know, I
movement.
ain't no pervert, but look, I can explain to people. I explain to
We
people.
men.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
men.
I look at porn like that shit like game tape. You feel me? It's like watching And1. You know when you seen the hot sauce move for the first time on tape. You see a nigga put it in his shirt and hit the
gonna
ball
let my son
around.
go, bro.
That's what porn is for me, son. So it's like I see a nigga do something to a chick. I'm like, ah.
I gotta try that. I gotta try
They
that.
fucking with that in the 2021.
Yo, I gotta try that.
Yeah, you gotta stay up to date. That shit like lingo, bro.
Yo.
Like, okay, look, nah, son, I went to the beach. I went to the beach recently, and when I went out there with some friends, me and my partners and some chicks, and a girl was talking to me about something about like TikTok or some shit, and I ain't know what it was. She was like, "Oh, you showing your age." I was like, like, she was like, yeah. She was like, you don't look like you on. She was like, you look young, but she was like, you don't wanna. She was like, you might not be on TikTok, but you gotta know about what's popping on TikTok.
You gotta move with the
and I'm
time.
like, okay, yeah, it's like staying up to date. So I think sexually is the same thing, bro. Like,
That's a fact.
whatever you on, like I said, niggas, some people get freaky, some people get extra freaky, but
Yep.
I don't think that you can be out here where women are observing the society grow. You feel me? They getting more free with how they confident in themselves and what they willing to let men try on them.
That's a
if
fact.
you into that, you feel me? If
Talk.
you talk to them properly about it, but you can't just be having missionary sex, bro. That's that
That
98.
shit over. Yeah,
that's like
70, 1970 missionary.
Yeah,
Man, listen,
you can't
brother.
have 1998
They giving
sex,
out
bro.
the 2021 dome right now.
Yeah, nada.
It ain't right unless it got
yeah.
bubbles on
Nope.
it, sis. It ain't right unless it got bubbles. If you ain't got bubbles on my head, on the head game, Sit it over there.
But
I ain't fucking with you,
He
sis.
not lying. He not
That's
lying.
old school.
Son. Yeah.
I need bubbles.
Yeah, dry head is 98.
Dry head,
Yeah,
sis.
that's
I might
98
kick you,
head.
sis.
Real rap.
That's equivalent to
One-handed, one-handed head. That's 2,000
You feel me?
head.
Come on, man. Wireless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Put your hands behind your back, sis. Do not touch me. If you touch me, I'ma choke you. Don't touch me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I might go too hard, but you know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
but real
2021
rap,
head out here.
I truly think is that I think, one thing I learned, Clubhouse had a little run, and I'm appreciative of that because, as artists, as the type of people, we kind of live in a bubble at the end of the day. We don't really got to be out there. We don't got to be out there.
Door to door.
And I feel like on Clubhouse, it allowed me to connect with other black people, black men and black women who are into the music we make. They listen to our music, but I'm actually getting to hear how they live to our music. I'm hearing about the relationship problems and how black women may not feel protected by black men, and then black men may feel misunderstood, and then this whole narrative of like black men not being with black women and shit like that. So while I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this type of shit, I'm just like, okay, it sounds like a communication barrier. And I think a lot of times it's because with black people being in the position we in, only a small few of us get that privilege, get that experience that come with it too. You feel me? To be able to go around and have the option to date people of different nationalities or the option to date people from a different place than you. You feel me? Some people ain't never dated a person that ain't from their same city or same state. So they don't even know what it's like to be introduced to a different mindset. Like I can't pinpoint that like girls in the South like this more sexually than girls in the West. But from my experiences personally, I could say it's more free spirited women on the West than it is down South. You feel me? Yeah. And I think it's because of what they've been exposed to. They've been exposed to the sexuality and a different type of confidence where sometimes the shit down South, girls may grow up spiritual.
Family.
So they don't, family
Family
oriented. So they don't really want to expose that. They rather do it privately. Then sometimes privately might be too late for a nigga. Because a nigga, you might get the wrong nigga in the bed. This nigga not into that. Yep. You feel me? So I think with going back to what we was talking about, like I think people got to use porn in a healthy manner. I don't understand how niggas get hooked to it. That's ridiculous. But I definitely think I think as a man, if you can't show your chick a porno, you weak inside, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you think you looking at porno and you cheating on your broad, then you got a sick connection to it. You feel me? You got a sick connection.
Somebody fell?
Nah, this is New York City. Don't worry about it.
But I think that's where dudes get lost. Like, I ain't never even seen a chick, like, I ain't never really seen a chick in a porno. Tiana Trump might be, like, the closest one I seen to a chick that I look like I might fuck with in real life. Like, for real.
Realistic woman. Yeah, and I'm with you.
But other than that, the white ones, the whatevers, they not even my type. They be beat in the face. You feel me? But they actions that they doing, if I could peep that and I could show a shorty like, look, hey.
Different skills.
You ever peep that?
Porn is not always about how a chick look. It's about what she can do.
It's never how a chick look to me.
That's a
like I
fact.
said, they ain't never bad enough to what I've seen in my real life.
Different world, man.
Yeah, but definitely I think dudes just gotta they gotta be healthy with that shit.
Yeah, not facts though.
When I hear FAP and all that shit, I'm like, what is that? Like y'all niggas sit up and just beat y'all meat.
Hold on, what's that? What you call
FAP, FAP, like what niggas be calling that shit? It's like some weird white boy shit. Yeah, like call it FAP, and I guess it's like slang for like jerking off and shit like that.
They got a slang for whacking they weasel?
Yes.
Oh, so I guess there's just like niggas that just stay home and do that all day.
They just be wilding, you feel me?
I mean, I guess outside. I get outside.
He had to say it out loud.
I don't even know what that was, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? I give it a good little 45 an hour, but I got to go. See what I'm saying?
Niggas gotta chill.
Right. So look, bro, I wanna say again, I love you. Thank you so much.
This shit was dope, man.
I couldn't wait for you to come to New York so I can have you come up here.
Nah, this great.
So we could chop it up, you know what I mean? And I'm usually the one to leave with the gems. But if anybody follows this guy, or if you're not aware,
on Twitter,
follow The Hair, TheHeir.
Yes, sir. On Instagram.
On Instagram and Twitter.
Chasing Cash on Twitter, Chasing Cash. Chase the letter N, Cash with an E on the N, CASHE. And Chasing Cash on everything. You could type it in on Instagram. It'll come up even though I ain't got the handle. And more importantly, Can't Buy Respect, man. Can'tBuyRespect.com. Can't Buy Respect on everything. I appreciate you rocking my shit. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I'm mad. I'm wearing this shit right now, and I got all my hats right there.
I got it on right now. So
all right, cool. I mean? So look, I was saying I usually leave my listeners, viewers with a gem, but being that I got a walk-in gem here, I feel like
walk-in gem.
You're the one to leave the gem.
Hey. Yeah, man. What I would like to say is, man, as black people, man, as all people, if you a fan of a lifestyle of positivity, like, I don't fake nothing positive. I remember being a point in my life where I was depressed and I had negative energy, and I make it a point every day to start off positive before anything. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna stop being honest about my opinion and how I feel, because I really only say things to see the world be better. And the same things I ask of people, I ask of myself even more. That's why I wake up, I get up, I work out. You feel me? You seen recently I had a whole transformation of my body and shit, because I felt like I was a person who talked a lot of shit, but then in the physical, could I back it? You feel me? If I had to help somebody, could I be strong enough to pull somebody out of a car the same way I could motivate somebody on Twitter? You feel me? So for me, it was beyond the spiritual and the what I'm saying in the spiritual is the Twitter stuff. You feel me? I feel like that's all coming from like a real place in my heart. But beyond that, I think physically, I'm up to the task now of what being a man is and what being a leader is. So I just would tell people to do that, man. Like, definitely focus on your health. I know we put a lot into our craft and everything, but we got to put more into our bodies and more into our health. I do not want to see people who got the energy and the power to make change succumb to their own choices. You feel me? Because you can't blame nobody but yourself with that type of shit. We all know what we eating. We all know the type of people we choose to be around. And for me, like I said, man, I just want everybody to be positive. I want everybody to look at their weaknesses as an opportunity to grow. My weakness was bad posture. My weakness was, you know what I mean, weakness in general. You feel me? I feel like overlooking my weaknesses. I felt like I tried to make it seem like I didn't need to get up off my ass and challenge myself. I felt like I thought I could meet everything mentally and think my way out of everything. And sometimes life gonna meet you fist to fist. And I think now that I done got physical, I done got boxing, I done got the fitness shit, I feel like I got a holy trinity of mental, spiritual, and physical. And people greet me that way now. You feel me? Like, I know what it feels like.
The respect is different.
Yep. I know what it feels like when people see you put the work in and get right, and that energy of a hero, you know what I mean? And I think that's important to me right now. Knowing that I'm getting older, I want people to not look up to me in a shallow sense. I want people to look into me. You feel me? I want people to look into like what I'm doing, and if it's something that they like, you feel me? I want to be a vessel to help them get into it and find themselves. So just like how I started doing pull-ups and niggas started in jumping rope and niggas start seeing me do that and they start jumping on it, whatever else I could get into that could help lead people to a healthy lifestyle, that's all I'm on, bro. Period.
I love it. And hearing that healthy speech, I'm going to take my fat ass back to Eric Kelly, because he sent me some exclamation marks the other day to get back.
Yeah, man, you got to stay boxing, man.
It's different when niggas see you, you know what I mean, boxing, because, you know what I mean, make niggas look at you.
Yeah.
You. I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
Because you keep fucking playing with me. You know what I mean? Put the pause on.
Nah, we could get in there. I hit them. I seen
crazy.
them posts. I hit that nigga today.
Them back in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
all
Niggas
of us got to get them hands, man. We got kids. We got
fucking playing.
We got kids, we got sons, man.
Suplex this nigga.
Anyway, I love you, bro.
No, I love you too,
What's
man.
that stupid shit you say?
Curls for the girls, waves for the babes, and that's for the hood rats.
Hey, I got
Hey, Show Broadway, whole personal party podcast, the head, nigga.
Really?